Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is going to be episode 11 for Two Idiots Reading Comics. Hopefully, everybody has started to follow us. If you haven't, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Two Idiots RC. And also find our podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts at Two Idiots Reading Comics. And also, we're on YouTube at Two Idiots Reading Comics. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bells, the likes. Give us ratings. Give us comments. Just hopefully we can get some more subscribers, get some more input from everybody, and we can make this the best thing that it can be. All right, let's get to it.
And welcome to episode 11. Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, Volume 3.
Yeah,
Davis,
baby.
how you doing?
Doing good, man.
Yeah.
Back at it, and great to talk about Star Wars anytime I can.
Motherfucker loves Star Wars.
Well, I ain't got no one else to talk to about it.
Your wife?
She don't care.
Your whole family loves Star Wars.
Not the realm that I can talk about it. When I talk to them about Star Wars, it's like, oh yeah, wasn't that movie good? Yeah, it was good. I didn't understand this. And then I go into a long, drawn-out story, and there's this just glassed-over look on their face. It's no satisfaction.
Well, I'll try to rein you in. I'll let you talk as much as you want. As long as it's within like 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, we can keep it within 30 minutes.
All right. You want to go ahead and credit some people?
Yeah, let's credit some people. I know it's the third time we've done this, but
Hey,
you never know who changes. And again, like we've talked about, comics don't give the
this
dues.
might be your first video watching, so
Yeah.
you don't know.
So again, writer is Charles Soule, amazing guy. Penciler is Giuseppe Camuncoli. Inker Daniel Orlandini. Now this time we've got colors David Curiel, doing episodes 13 through 15 and 17 and 18, and Java Tartaglia.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Euro XFX doing
Yeah.
issue 16, and I'm gonna go with Euro X.
Yeah, that's got to be
FX is
somebody's company.
Yeah.
They outsource that.
Letters VC's Joe Carmagna. I've read it.
Caramagna.
Caramagna. Cover
Manga.
art Giuseppe Camuncoli and Elia Donetti. Damn, I'm butchering these today.
Is that a D or a B?
I got a D.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
And then for the annuals number 2, because we got an annual in this one, the writer was Chuck Wendig, penciler Leonard Kirk, inkers Walden Wong and Scott Hanna, colors Nolan Woodard, letterer VC's Joe Caramagna, and cover artists Mike Diodato Jr. and Eric Prianto. Yep. So, now that we got that out of the way.
All right. What did you think, Davis?
Woo! So, we got to go a little differently with this time. So, for the first two, first one, Vader's becoming Vader.
Yeah.
Second one, Vader's still becoming Vader.
But you're a year
Throw
in.
in the Inquisitors. Yeah,
Yeah.
about a year in-ish.
That's what it said. So.
Throw in the Inquisitors. They're
Mhm.
training. They've killed off God knows how many Jedi that survived.
Yeah.
But now, Vader's going on an actual mission.
Mhm.
Yes, he's still hunting Jedi, but there's also a little extra going on in the world around him.
Tarkin becomes a major
Tarkin,
player.
I love Tarkin so much.
Can we just address the fact that Davis is a fan of the Empire?
I'll take it. It's Vader. The fuck, I love Vader. How can I not love the Empire?
Why, he eventually overthrows the Emperor.
He's still the chosen.
Sure. Never thought about it that way.
Yeah. Vader's still the chosen one. Anakin Skywalker is still the chosen one. He brings balance
Good
to the
point.
Force, destroys everything down to 2 Jedi.
He took his sweet fucking time.
Oh, yeah, he took a sweet fucking time, but the whole idea of that he is still the chosen one because he does kill the darkness and relinquishes it back to the light.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Um,
I told y'all this shit, I go, it scares me sometimes.
I tell you one thing I really like about this one. for a while, or for the longest time I can remember, Star Wars was never about an actual war. And
Yeah.
this one is straight up strategic
Yep.
moves and a battle about negotiations and stuff like that. So I like this, and I've started watching Clone Wars. I like that because it's
Right.
actually about
it's wars.
the actual war.
Yeah.
So
Because 4, 5, and 6, the only war, you get the Battle on Hoth,
yeah,
you get the Death Star fight in 4, and you get the Battle of Endor.
Mhm.
That's it.
yeah.
And those aren't even, like, yeah, they're battles, but
You don't
they're
see
just
like
the key
you don't see
factors.
the strategic pieces
Yeah.
going in. It's just, oh, Han's got to do this, and Luke's got to do
Right,
this, and
and
Leia's got to
that's
do
it.
this.
But yeah, this, and you get introduced to General Akbar, or he's Commander
yes.
Akbar at this time.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool. Kind of showing that he's starting out
Mhm.
as somewhere, and then what we know him as in the movies.
Do you remember when there was a group of people at Ole Miss that wanted their mascot changed because of the Rebel?
Oh yeah,
And there was a group of people that wanted them to be their mascot to be Admiral Akbar.
why? Like I'm not that bad, but damn,
That'd be an awesome, way
Oh,
better
it
than
would've
that
been-
dumb bear or a land
well, it's
shark.
a shark now, isn't it?
Yeah, the land
They were
shark.
going with a bear, then they went with a shark,
And it looks like a
and-
penis. But they had like
Yeah.
ESPN commercials and everything. It said "Vote for Akbar."
Good Lord. I'm trying to find the other guy's name. The other,
The other fish guy.
yeah,
They're
they're not fish guys. There's
It's a rat.
Moncalas. They're Moncalas.
Radis. Yeah, Radis. Yeah.
He plays a key role in Rogue One. He is
Yeah.
he is the leader of the group that takes them in to Scarif.
Yeah.
And he is the commander general of the Southern Hemisphere
Mhm.
when the shit hits the fan that
Yeah.
escapes the fleet.
Now he did a really cool strategy when shit kind of broke down.
He just locked all
They
the
noticed, or everybody, or I guess not everybody, I didn't know, but actual like shipping spaceships,
Yeah.
have better shields than actual
Yeah.
fighters because they don't have to worry about cannons and stuff like
the
that.
ion cannons getting
And
out,
so-
the pulses and all that shit.
He linked like 5 different gigantic shipping spaceships, together and got basically one
Yeah.
big gigantic shield
Yeah.
with all of his warships in there, so they were able to blast out,
Yeah.
but nothing was even coming close to breaking that barrier.
But yeah, they're the Moncala shipping freighters or
Yeah.
ships, whatever you want to call them.
Because
And,
apparently they mentioned it like early on. Apparently a lot of the, well, not materials. What do you call them? Basically, a lot of stuff that comes from that planet is used for a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's for shipping, for
what do you
building,
call it?
for materials, trade, goods.
Yeah. Like a lot of their coral reef and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's gonna bug me.
Is it the seaweed? I saw something about seaweed when they were talking about the. Oh, it's seaweed string.
Yeah.
Something about they wind the seaweed together or some
Yeah.
material, and it creates almost stronger than steel.
Yeah.
And
Basically, a lot of
yeah,
elements and stuff, or in like minerals and stuff, or just stuff that grows on that planet, is very useful for a lot of different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And so it's a key piece to basically the galaxy.
right. And the Empire
And,
wants it, always wants it.
They're trying to renegotiate like their trade contracts and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Doesn't go well.
No.
Leechar is the king. He gets introduced in the Clone Wars. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've ever made it.
I don't
that
think I've
far
made
yet.
it that far.
And he's a kid. I mean, he's pretty much a kid.
Yeah.
Now I guess he'd be a few years older than the Clone Wars, but he's secretively being manipulated by a Jedi.
Yeah.
And
Wasn't even
it's
master.
not being,
He's a Padawan.
He was a
He's bar.
Padawan when
Yeah.
the Order was when 66 came out.
Yeah.
And at first you're thinking, oh, the Jedi's trying to help him, trying to make him better, trying to give him Leechar and Moncala an upper hand.
Yeah.
And it comes out that Bar is actually manipulating him just so he can have a shot at Vader, and that
I took it as as some Jedi do, they can see into the future, and he basically realized that this would spark the rebellion, which would lead to Luke. What he didn't tell Lee Char was is that this isn't right now.
Yeah,
this is decades away.
Your planet's screwed.
Yeah,
your planet is fucked. All we need is your ships.
Yeah,
and some of your leaders, and
like,
it does. I mean, the Mon Cala fleet is what
Admiral
runs,
Akbar is at the front of a lot of things.
They're shipping their fleet, their ships get turned into war fleets, and are what win the rebellion. And like he said, in decades to come and decades after, which he was hinting at, the Force Awakens, and the First Order. Yes.
So it was Rise of Skywalker, and Akbar showed back up.
No.
Or was it his son? I don't know.
No, it was
another fish
it was
guy.
his son. So Akbar's in Force Awakens. He gets destroyed in Last Jedi.
Yeah.
His son is in the Rise of Skywalker as like a commander or something. But we digress. Yeah. It was interesting at first. You're like, oh, he's trying to help him now. He's trying to make it better now. And the dude was like, and once Bar faces Vader at the end, Bar's like, oh yeah, I was doing this because your fleet will lead a rebellion in years to come.
Yeah.
That right now,
it's like that, and
your world's fucked.
I want to take my shot at ending it all together right now. So.
Yeah, and
which wouldn't have ended it at all.
No, it would just killed Vader and wouldn't have done shit. But
the Emperor's still in power and all that.
What did you think when they revealed that the stormtroopers were still clones?
Yeah, he takes off their helmets and then uses the Jedi mind trick. Was awesome.
Yeah, he used.
And then he's like, "These used to be Jedi," and then Jedi mind trick Order 66 or whatever. I mean, it makes sense. He got some clones left over. Might as well use them. They're not gonna. And in the Empire's mind, they're just not worth anything.
Right.
So.
And something I noticed was him using, like you can see, he uses his fingers, and no, this isn't for any nefarious reason. This is what he does in the show.
It's in the panel.
This is in the panel.
We're
like,
not
come on now.
trying to signal anything. We're not about that.
He does that, but it also is a way, I think, that Charles Soule and the writers can get around the fact that the clones have chips in their head. Because before Clone Wars, the show, they said Order 66, the clones just turned. Yeah. And their reasoning was the clones were so spread out that they didn't really care about the Jedi. They served the Empire, or they served the Republic. Yeah. And then their commander, the
Jedi were not the ones to order the clones. It was Count Dooku, wasn't it?
Well, it was Count Dooku through I can't believe I forgot his name. Through another guy that was in the Jedi Order. Count Dooku had left the Order. He had it through. Man, it's going to drive me crazy. He ordered another guy to do it through him to go to the Kaminoans and order the clones.
Well, it was also a bad guy, though.
Well, he was a good guy. The Jedi that he ordered it through was a good guy.
But all along they were planned.
They were
being planned and trained and built to kill
Palpatine
Jedi.
Was literally just sitting there puppeteering everybody.
Yeah.
But they were trained by Boba Fett and other Mandalorians and the greatest people that knew how to kill Jedi.
Yeah.
So it was always in there. And then they used the chip to just, for the very loyal ones, to be able to snap.
They were like sleeper cells, basically.
Right. And in the old times, it was just Palpatine gave the order, they executed it.
Yeah.
The new canon is that they have chips in their brains that even the loyalist members will betray their Jedi.
Okay.
And this is a way that they kind of gets around that if that ever changes again, this comic is still relevant. Okay. He still says Order 66, but he mind tricks them.
Yeah.
And it forces them to do it.
Yeah.
To me, it was just a back thing of before now canon and Disney, it was just said, it was fucked, and they did it. Now it's because they were a chip. And Charles Soule has a good way of, if it ever changes again, hey,
Yeah.
my comic is still relevant.
I got you.
It was something for me in
To prevent like a loophole or plot holes and
plot
stuff like
holes.
that.
Yeah, and that to me, I know I went way off on the deep end on that, but still.
That's what you're here for.
But that was a pretty effed up scene where even you start to realize, like, we as readers knew that the Inquisitors were ex-Jedi.
Yeah.
But even Bar to go, no, you really are still Jedi.
Yeah.
Here, I'll prove it. And then they kill one of the Inquisitors. Which Inquisitor was it? Seventh brother. Sixth brother cuts off ninth sister's leg.
Yeah.
And literally, as they're running out, he just slices her leg off, and he runs on out.
Which,
and then I think it was 10th brother
she
that
survived.
got killed.
Yeah, she survived.
Don't go there.
She survives because she's in the video game.
I know, which
That's
I don't know when the continuity. I don't know when the game takes place compared to. No, it has to take place longer because that kid, I know that he was like 10, and then in the game he's like 17, so that's years.
Okay.
And this was only like a year or so.
But
so
she does survive.
So she has to survive somehow.
Okay.
There's also another character, Verla. Bar, the last survivor of Bar's little ragtag group, that she is alive right now in the Star Wars comics.
Okay.
She's shown back up.
I got you.
And there was another key thing that I'm waiting on if they bring back in the comics is that Quinlan Vos was a Jedi during the Clone Wars. He's the one, if you've seen, he's with Obi-Wan hunting down the hut in the show. He's got on green face paint, one down the middle and like one coming on each side. Long hair, kind of looks like a jungle rat.
Maybe,
he's a human, but he looks like kind of like Tarzan.
Oh, no.
All right, either way. But they mention his name, and it's the only other time outside of the show and the book that I have that it mentions it after the Purge.
Oh,
and so maybe he shows back up because Verla is now showing up in future Star Wars stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. Little things like that. So
we're not shaming you for loving Star Wars here, Davis.
Man. I can go on forever.
But yeah, so basically this whole battle happens, and Bar just kind of, I wouldn't say fucked Moncala, but
he did.
Yeah, but it was in his mind for a greater good.
Yeah.
And then we get to the cool issue.
Well, first before we get to issue 18, something I wanted to talk about Vader was that a running theme and something that is going to be a major theme in Volume 4 is Vader's visions or Vader's ideas of the past about how he was to start the issue off. He is Vader in his Vader regalia, killing Obi-Wan, doing the opposite to Obi-Wan that Obi-Wan did to him as Anakin. And episode 4 and Volume 4 is gonna bring a lot of that in too.
Yeah.
The ending of Volume 4 is very deep in the mysticism and visions of Vader, and the running theme has been he's always trying to change the past.
Yeah.
And you'll get to Volume 4 is going to be pretty cool. It's a lot of mystical stuff that's happening, but this just ties into the way that this whole volume's been going. Of Vader is always wanting to change his past. That he's still in his mind. He's missing something. That if he had done this differently, he would be with Padme, or if he'd done this differently, he would have killed Obi-Wan, or if he did this differently, and like when he bled his crystal, he sees himself with a blue blade killing Palpatine.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. He's always kind of there's an inner fight within him that just keeps on and keeps on that never can be quenched.
I got you.
Until he gets to kill people.
Oh yeah.
Now issue 18.
Now earlier, fucking Tarkin got Vader to do a favor.
Yep.
And this issue, Vader was like, "All right, so that favor, I want it now, and
calling it in.
I want you to assemble a squad and hunt me, because I guess they talk about it. He's killed so many of the people that could even like give him a fight.
Yeah.
And now he wants to know, or basically wants a good challenge.
Yeah.
And
He wants something to prove that he isn't useless,
yeah,
I would say.
yeah. And if there was anyone still on his level.
Yeah.
And so Tarkin assembles a squad to hunt, and basically
And it's
Vader
not
kills all of them.
stormtroopers or clones.
No,
it
it's
is
like
um,
bounty hunters and
bounty
trackers
hunters.
and
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like
some
that.
legit hunters. No one that we really know of because
Yeah.
they all end up dying. But
Mm.
it's legit. Like, so in the book that I have from Del Rey, Tarkin grew up on a planet. Don't remember his name, but in that planet, his family, his clan, had a ritual that he would be him, and I think it was his uncle and some other members of his clan, that those members lived in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And the eldest son of the clan at the time that would become their head,
Yeah.
has to go and prove themselves
Mhm.
every summer until like they're 18, then they prove themselves. And in that teaching, he literally goes out for months with a weapon and his uncles, and they literally just they try to die. But in trying to die, they are trying to hunt the most vicious animals in the wilderness. And if you can kill them, then you're better than that one. Then you go for the next one. Then you go for the next one. But in doing so, you've got to learn how those predators act and how they react. And in that, it was a lot of how Tarkin is.
They highlight that a little bit because
he's a tracker.
Vader is killing off people, Tarkin talks about, like, each time someone on his crew dies, he learns something else about Vader.
Right.
And like eventually it just like gets it to where he's like, okay, I have a plan.
Right. And that came from, and the book talks about, like, that's how for him to survive, he had to almost die to learn a new thing about what he's hunting and to try and kill it. And Vader is another one of those predators. And then I liked it where they're talking about Vader pretty much showing off. He killed the apex predator of the planet.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just wearing its skin.
Well,
no lightsaber. All he had was himself and force powers.
Well, it was because the skin of that animal can, like...
Well, that too. It transitions.
Camouflage, but it's like... Basically, if you've seen the invisibility cloak in Harry Potter, it's that. And they took his lightsaber away from him, so all he had to use was his force powers.
That was fucked. Because Vader's like, yeah, we took his saber, and it's the only thing I've ever shown him show affection to.
Yeah.
And Vader and Tarkin kind of downplayed what it would actually do to Vader.
Yeah.
Once they took it, Tarkin says Vader went mad.
Yeah.
Like, not just Vader's normal anger and hatred. Like, once it happened, he turned into like a mad beast.
Yeah.
Of that is mine.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed that instead of running to be hunted, he turned and hunted the hunters.
Yeah.
And that got, ooh.
And then like cool stuff like they found the distance of how far you had to be away.
Tarkin talks about he had to lose two hunters to find that out so he could still survive.
Yeah.
What was even like another testament to Vader's power of once they're out in the Badlands and it's just him and Tarkin. Yeah. And Tarkin kneels.
Yeah,
and
that was
makes
cool.
Vader the tallest thing to be struck by lightning. Yeah. Vader gets hit. Then Tarkin goes on this long monologue in his head of, "Oh, you think you're the best," or kind of not really taunting him in his head, but
in his head he needed to know that he wanted to know that there was someone out there worthy of his power.
Right.
And I guess I just proved that. And then Vader switches his finger and force chokes him just as a you didn't finish the job.
No. You may have taken me down, but you didn't kill me.
Yeah.
The only way to defeat me is to kill me.
Yeah.
And Tarkin wasn't going to actually kill him.
Yeah.
Because shit, if Tarkin killed Vader, then Palpatine would have literally strung Tarkin up by his feet and skinned him alive.
I always thought he had like other apprentices though.
He dabbled. He had, but Vader was his mighty. Vader was his right hand.
Now, I know Vader supposedly took on secret apprentices. Other than those video games, though, Force Unleashed, did they ever talk about
Nothing is
them?
canonized.
Oh, okay.
as of right now, there's nothing canon that Vader has taken on an apprentice.
Okay.
Let me think. Because the Force Unleashed was pre-Disney.
Yeah.
That's all been discredited. No, I don't think there is. As of right now, there is no. He has not attempted to train anyone.
Okay.
So, but yeah. Bar. One of the one to talk about was Bar was the people that were following him. Air quotes.
Yeah.
He tricked them. He Jedi mind tricked them into following him. He says, "Follow me."
Oh, I guess I didn't pick up on that.
All
I
but
thought.
all but the
I mean,
last
they
girl.
all like had like legitimate
they had
reasons.
reasons, but the first three that die,
Mhm.
you see him. He has his hands up
Yeah. I
and
didn't
says,
catch
"Follow
that.
me."
Okay.
And the only ones is the last guy and the girl Verla.
Yeah.
Because she comes up to him holding a cube and it's levitating. That she has powers and she wants to learn, but either way, he was a sadistic little. Oof.
Yeah. I guess we should touch on the annual since we talked about it. Basically just a prelude to Rogue One, the movie.
Yeah, it was a setup to how I always forget his name. How the guy that created the Death Star's plans, reason why he left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget his name. Urso.
Yeah.
Jyn Urso. How he left because he was being, I guess not tormented, but like things were starting to show up that
he didn't.
Yeah,
think
Vader
about
was catching
before.
on and other things. And then that there was a Geonosian queen that was trying to sabotage the Empire.
Yeah.
That was interesting. And then in the Clone Wars and in the Rebels show, there is they go to Geonosis a few times, and it kind of talks about how once the Death Star was gone, they wiped the planet. Like they tried to eradicate all Geonosians because they were the only ones that knew what was going on.
Oh yeah.
So if they could, they would tell, and then their whole secret would be out.
Yeah.
It was once they were like Vader says, they're an enslaved people that has strict protocol on breeding and all this, that they're so controlled that once it's over, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They'll wipe you out.
Yeah.
So
you're probably gonna be what we tested on. So.
Well, yeah, but they didn't. But still,
okay.
yeah, they didn't fire it. But yeah, it kind of, it was a nice tie-in with them and Krennic, and Vader trying to figure out is Tarkin and Krennic actually against the Empire?
Yeah.
Which they're not, but they're
more for themselves.
But they're so loyal to the Empire and to themselves.
That's just as dangerous.
All right, because they're wanting to one up each other that they could lose sight of the greater good or the greater overall of the Empire.
Yeah,
not good
for the Empire is good.
Yeah, the Empire's good. It was, I mean, it was worth just kind of a tie into Rogue One, but nothing that I guess really needed to have happened.
Okay. Well, we're getting close on time. You have any more Star Wars you want to get out of you?
No, I'll get it out in the next one. The next one, I'm really, there's a lot of back shit coming up in the next issue.
Oh Lord.
Next volume.
Right. Next week is Fables.
Yeah. This is
pretty damn good.
Yeah, pretty cool. And again, another indie. And
I mean,
well, compared to what we're reading,
it's hold on. It's a Vertigo title, which was is a more mature label of DC.
Right.
It's not superhero.
Right. It's not superhero, I guess.
But yeah, it's good. Look forward to talking to everybody about that.
Yeah.
Remember, it's a book club. We hope you're reading along.
Yes.
I mean, you can enjoy it any way you want, but that was our general idea from when we started this. Right. So we hope you're reading along. Hope you're having fun. And I guess we'll just see y'all next week.
All right. Bye.